fight tonight.
What's going on, everybody? Jade up here. In this video, we're going to be talking about the new dungeon of Depths of Malatar, or whatever it's called. Really fun dungeon. If you guys have not done it on PC NA, I highly recommend it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the entire dungeon on just regular veteran, and at the very end, I will go over the mechanics for hard mode, and we'll go over that. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. As you can see, we already have. Basically, these ads are pretty simple ads. They're a little bit smaller. So what they did is, at least what I think they did, at least Sauce as being as they, smaller ads don't one shot really anymore, but the bigger ads do. And you'll see later on which bigger ads I'm talking about. Excuse me. So here's the first boss. Pretty simple, very easy mechanic and boss to deal with, but I will say you do have to be a little bit smart and a little bit tanky on there. Now, as soon as you pull within about 3 to 4 seconds, this boss is going to do a cone attack on you that's going to do quite a bit of damage, and then as it's doing that, it's going to place an AoE on top of you. And then all you got to do is just slowly move out of it, and that way it places the AoEs on the outside of the group instead of on them. Now when this happens, he's going to jump up in the air and the AoE is going to be around your feet. All you got to do is just kind of split up, and that way you won't get one shot by that. Basically, you can dodge roll it as soon as the circle fills up around you, or you can just hold block and be good. Now what we're doing now, the boss goes hides. He does this 3 times, so it's, you know, it's a pretty fun fight, to be honest. I actually kind of enjoy this entire dungeon. As soon as he does find you, someone's gonna have to bash, and you'll be good to go. Now we're gonna slow this down again. As you can see, we'll do 1, 2, 3 is usually what I do, and then I get out of the circle. Usually about 3 to 4 seconds, then I'll get out of it. As you can see, AoEs, you got about 2 to 3 seconds, and then make sure you're spread apart. If you stack on each other, it will kind of hurt. Now, as you can see, you gotta do DPS him all the way down, and he's gonna jump right back in, come right back down, and he does position himself in a weird way. So when he does come back down, he's usually either behind you, in some way, shape, or form. Now he's about to go back up 50%. As you can see, I slowed it down here. These AoEs on the ground, they pop around on 2 different people at a time. And what they do is they put the little spikes of like bones and stuff. It does constant damage to you, so you want to make sure that you avoid those at all costs. So as soon as the boss spawns and it actually picks a DPS, if you do not still have taunt on that boss, what you need to do is you need to taunt and then bash it. Because if you bash, sometimes what will happen is that boss will immediately target that DPS or healer or whatever you got with you, and then start doing that cone attack, and there's literally no helping those guys. Or girls, whoever it is. But there's literally no helping them. They will die so quick, it's insane. But yeah, when he goes to 25% in this last round, keep in mind that every time he goes hidden, there will be a few ads, 2 to 3 ads that will spawn, and you could just take them with you. That's what we do. We just take them with us. I'll taunt them. They come with us, and they get cleaved down on the boss. So we're going to speed up these trash pulls quite a bit. I kind of want to show you the whole dungeon, but I also want to speed it up so that we're not sitting here, sitting here watching some shit that could be sped up. Because there's not really much to say on these ad pulls. It's literally just stack and burn them. I mean, that's pretty much it. This dungeon is melee friendly. You just have to avoid certain mechanics and you should be fine. It is also magic friendly, so you don't have to dodge roll a shit ton either. So that's also nice. So here we go to the bridge part. Basically, what you do here is you're going to stack all the ads. Make sure you have that two-hander taunted. I keep forgetting about him, to be honest, because he usually dies so quick. But for some reason, it just wasn't getting targeted. I think I probably forgot to tell him to target that two-hander. But basically what he does, he's the one that calls down that big AoE of fire that shoots down that you'll see later on in a few different other boss fights. But basically, all you do, you just sit there and, yeah, man, you just sit there and just DPS those ads, stack them all together, DPS them. Bridge is gonna fall down, and then all you're gonna do is swim across. Right here, I was talking to stream, and they were asking about Minotaur Motifs, and I said I don't have any. Anyways, yeah, so here's the bigger ads that I was talking about. As you can see, he spawned up from being a statue, and he does hit really hard. We're gonna slow it down here. Here's the mechanics he does: spin his sword around his body, like so, and then he's going to put like a little AOE, and this follows him. It does a certain amount of damage, like the entire time, so it doesn't. It's not any cumulative. He also does a two-hand heavy attack uppercut, and then he takes a knee. And as soon as he takes a knee, he's going to spawn two ice spikes. And then this is the other one that looks like he spawned in a gate, and that's going to make a circle with the hole cut out of it. And if any DPS is on the outside of that, they will get nuked by that. It hits so hard. The other attack that he spams is his reverse slice. So I'm pretty sure he has the Asylum two-hander on, and he's just sitting there spamming that shit. We're gonna come up to this pole, and we're gonna. I told him to DPS the Frost Atchel first, because it is kind of annoying to deal with that. We can deal with it, and it doesn't take long to DPS it, and then we'll kill the two-handers here. And that's how I normally do it. If a DPS is in here with you in one of those circles, they can either dodge roll out, or they can stay in it and take their chances on hopefully one of those bigger ads not bending the knee and doing some AoE damage to him. Because if the AoE damage hits him in that circle, like it is now around top of me, it will hurt the ads as well, or the your group members, your DDs or your healers. It'll hurt them pretty bad. Uh, we're coming up on a boss now, which is actually really easy. Okay, so this ad pull right here first. If you pull those frost atros first, you can pull you'll at least pull one of the two-handers, and if you do not aggro the second one, he will not spawn. So just keep that in mind. If you have a little bit lower DPS, then that's what I would probably do. Take it safe. Slow and steady wins the race. All right, just remember that. So we got out here. We got these guys down. We're gonna. I had to clip a few of this stuff because a lot of times I was sitting there talking to individuals in stream, like here. I think I cut this part out. I can't remember. But I was sitting there hyping it up. I guess I didn't cut it out. But anyways, I was just sitting there hyping it up for Dolphin coming in with that new sub. She's also comes in the stream every so often. Really cool individual. Anyways, I'm just sitting here hyping up. Anyway, so the next boss phase that's coming up is a flying wraith for the most part. As you can see, she or narrate or whatever you want to call her. She's basically like this ice queen or whatever, weeping woman, whatever. Anyways, these are the mechanics she does. Puts a AOE on the ground. It could be any which way, and you'll see. She'll also throw some AoEs on the ground like this, which I still don't think it does any damage. And then she'll also throw Atro at you. And the way we do this, which is kind of the safest way, is DPS ads, then DPS boss, DPS ads, DPS boss. Um, it's just a little bit easier and quicker that way. Now we're not going to slow it down here in a second because this ad in the back is going to spawn right behind the boss. Every so often, uh, the boss will spawn a two-hander to come help her defeat you, and all you guys gotta do is just literally DPS the ads, DPS the boss. Or if you got good cleave, like we had pretty decent cleave, we would DPS the boss and then cleave the ads. And sometimes we would have to focus them. It's just, you just gotta make the call. As you can see, the AoE on the grounds, they are absolutely crazy. They are any which way. This is why I really like this fight. I wish it was like a little bit harder, but it is pretty cool. You're constantly moving, so you're using a lot of stam. You're using a lot of magicka. Well, not really. You're just using a lot of stam because you're having to block some things. You're having to dodge roll some things. You're having to sprint sometimes. It's a really, really fun fight. And I think you guys on console and some of you guys in PC that are about to be able to play this or have played it might think the same. So after we beat that boss, we're gonna continue on to some more ad phases, which is whatever. This ad pool right here is a little crazy. You have two-handers, you got some melee ads, and some smaller ones, and then you also have an archer and a mage. Excuse me. I apologize. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm a little tired. You do have quite a bit of ads there. Again, you do have two range ads here, and then the two-handers here. Just kind of cleave everything down. Kind of watch out for this. When you do a no death, these are kind of some of the pulls that you want to do because these are kind of like the safer pulls. Um, Not a lot of excitement to be had in some of these pulls. You could potentially pull everything to one big spot and just kind of AO Destro ulti everything down, but I mean, if you're really trying to go for like a speed run or something like that, I'm sure that would work. Maybe drop a Nova. I don't know. Those ads, you just gotta watch out for those two-handed ads. If you pull these little small ads first, then a two-hander will spawn and come at you, but it'll only be one at a time. Then basically, once those little ads will die, the second one will spawn. Or you can just taunt it and bring all ads at once. Totally up to you. When going for no death, this is kind of what we were doing. So we're getting close to coming up on the Orb Boss, which is a very unique fight to say the least. Basically, what happened is there's an orb in a center, and the orb in a center spawns these little other orbs. There's 4 orbs that it'll spawn. There's a fire orb, there's an ice orb, there's an electric orb, and then there's some type of yellow orb, kind of like a Templar. And they all have their own special ability, I guess you would say. Excuse me. Which is really kind of cool. These are some of the mechanics, the basic mechanics all 4 of the ads do, and the big ads do. They do that electric type, they do a dawn breaker, and then they do a heavy attack like so. Pretty much it. Then they do their special attack, which could be the fireball attack, which sends a meteor down, a fire meteor down that explodes on 2 random people, and then shoots out 4 random balls that go up all over the place, and just kind of avoid those. Um, the purple ad, or excuse me, the blue ad, what it does is summons an ice pillar. All you have to do is literally light attack or bash that pillar and it'll disappear. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's intended, but it only has like 10k health or so. But on the boss fight, on 2 boss fights, it stays up for a while because it has like 100k health or so. And you don't have to worry about killing it; it'll disappear after a while. As far as the purple ad, what it does, we used to think it was like a health debuff, but it's actually not a health debuff orb. What it does do is it does a lightning attack, so it is actually the lightning one. What it does is it spawns lightning underneath the little ad's feet, and just sends little lightning little orb AoEs on the ground. So they're just ground AoEs that float across, as you can see here. And that's pretty much it. And basically, what you want to do here, you can either do one or two things. The way that I've been doing it lately is taking the ads and having them away from the group, and that seems to work pretty well because I'm literally just sitting there taking all the damage, and the rest of the group is doing what they need to do. So here's what's happening. The orb in the center needs to be DPS first. The orb in the center puts out an aura. As you can see on the ads, you see the aura that's happening on them that's constantly hitting them. That is their heal. So the orb in the center heals about every second. Heal puts out a heal and it hits those 4 ads, and it's a good amount of heals. So that's why what you want to do on the here is DPS the center orb until you cannot DPS it anymore, and then another orb will spawn of the color reference to the ad that spawned. DPS that orb on the outside, and then DPS the ads on the outside, which would be on the tank, and then go back to DPS in the orb in the center, DPS the orb on the outside, then the ads. It's pretty much like that the entire time. Another way you could do it is have the tank hold all the ads in the center and literally just sit there and cleave the ads and DPS the orbs. So you would what you would do is you would single target the orb, but cleave the ads that are in the center, and then you would turn and DPS the orb that is up, single target the orb. So I mean, there's a few different ways you could probably do this. I'm sure there's some really fast way that you could probably find and do, um, and it would be hell. It would work a lot better than the way we're doing it, maybe. So best of luck to whichever way you find to do it. But soon as you DPS the orb quick enough and all the way down, then all you got to do is just run up to it and light attack it, and then that's pretty much it. As far as these pulls here, there's going to be about 4 of those big ads, and as long as you just have taunt on them and just have the DPS just kind of stay a little bit away if they're range, and if they're melee, just have them hold block when you tell them to. So don't get hit by the Donnie, because if you get hit by a Donnie and you're not holding block and you're not paying attention, you could potentially get one shot by it. It's actually pretty funny watching DPS get destroyed by it. But other than that, just stack the ads and burn them down, just like so. My dog Bella is just right up on me, looking at what we're doing, or looking at what I'm doing. So that's pretty much at here. They all do the same attacks. I mean, they do a little bit of fire damage, and they do a little bit of their heavy attacks and Donnies and stuff like that. So here's the boss that I found the best way to do the ad pulls. Literally the best way to do it. I'm telling them right now that the ads are going to be stacked here. So what's going to happen is this boss is going to teleport into 4 different places. So for all 4 corners, he's going to take himself and split up into 4 different ads. So you have a fire ad, a light ad, electric ad, ice ad, and the yellow ad, right? Same orbs. He's gonna Dawnbreaker as soon as he spawn or as soon as he aggro. So just watch out for that. It's gonna happen. So make sure you're holding block. So here he goes. He's gonna split up into 4 different ways. And then all you're going to do as a tank, you're going to taunt the one that you're going to go to first. So that's the corner I'm going to go to. I'm going to taunt that ad. And then I'm going to taunt all the other ads as quick as possible. Now you're going to get all the mechanics happening literally at once. It's absolutely insane. It's such a fun fight. I'm going to go over here in this corner. I'm going to constantly keep backing up until I see all the ads are line to sight or right past this wall. And then I'm going to stack on this wall. And what that's going to do is that's going to stack all of the ads literally right next to each other. And then you can just sit there and cleave every single one of the ads. As you can see, the lightning will come on two different people and it will hit them. And if you stack on each other, you're going to get hit with both of those little AoEs underneath your feet. Excuse me. Um, Now, again, the easiest way that I found, or that we found, more or less, that, excuse me, one second, I need a cough. Excuse me. So, the easiest way that I found, or excuse me, that we found to be able to tell which boss is which is by putting power on the light on the boss right before he teleports. And the power of the light will stay on that boss until he spawns back up. Another way that we found to do, which we just found tonight, which is 4:30, 4 o'clock in the morning right now, we found it about 1 o'clock, so a few hours ago, and I thought I'd try and do a video on it right now. Another way is if you have somebody running Reliquin, it has that whirlwind effect on the target that you're hitting. If you put that on the boss, what will happen is the wind from the Reliquin will continue to have that effect as soon as it spawns. And the reason why that is important is when the boss splits up into four different things, they will have a shield on them. And so you have to DPS past that shield and then immediately start DPSing the boss as quick as possible. So you get a little bit of time. And those are the only two ways that we have found as of now to figure out which boss is which. Now, what you can do is have the DPS just turn and look. One DPS looks on the west side or whatever, and the other one looks on the east side or whatever. You just have the two DPS and the healer look at whichever two. That way they can see which one it is and then call it out on which ad had the power of the light or the reliquant on it, and then immediately start attacking it. Don't really attack the ads. You want to cleave those ads because your dots. I've done this with DPS. It literally had like 20k DPS a piece, and that's with two DPS that had that and a healer. Excuse me. And all you got to do is literally just focus that ad or the main boss if you can find them, and then the other ads will die to cleave. So just keep that in mind. It's a really good way and a quick way to get that speed run on this. It's the only way I found. Right here, I'm just trying new different pulls and trying do different ways to add it. And this is literally the fastest way that I found to do it. It's just have them in the center, constantly coming in the center. Um, Now here we did have a little bit lower DPS than what I'm used to. So we did get to see how long everything happens, and the mechanics get crazier and crazier the longer you're there. It just seems like they keep coming and they keep hitting harder and harder. It's crazy. What I did here in stream though, some people said that if you do heal, so what's going to happen on the story side is that there's two ads here. One of them is facing another NPC, and if you heal the NPC, then the four bosses won't have a shield on them, so they'll die quicker. I have yet to test this out, and I heard it earlier today in stream, and I just totally forgot about even testing it out to see. But the Reliquin and that works. They'll probably patch that. You probably won't get that patch on console. For those of you guys that are on console, I came from there, so I know how a lot of that stuff works. So you guys will be able to tell for a while. I'll try and find an alternative to see. I've tried the bugs from the wardens. I've tried curse. I've tried quite a bit of stuff and nothing seems to work. The only thing I haven't really tried is putting a poison on my bar or anything like that and having it tick, or I haven't tried engulfing yet either to see if that would be, a way to tell which boss is the real boss. So as you can see, one ad actually didn't come all the way towards me, and that's totally fine because the other three will. And if the other three will, then all you got to do is just stack like you did, and then just run a little bit out of the way to stack all four of them together, and that's it. So now we're getting up to the last boss, and these ads here, just kind of stack them DPS, and that's literally it. You only have about 2 to 3 ad pulls left, and then you're at the boss. So you have this, depending on how you pull. So you have the ad downstairs, you have this frost atro, and then you have these ads here, which is a melee ad, archer, two-handers, and then the frost atro. Just kind of DPS all these ads, and you'll be good to go into the boss round. And the boss is actually a really fun fight. Um, and I'm going to try and show you that don't ever give up on this fight because you can come back from it as a tank if you have this setup on, or at least something similar to this. So right now I'm kind of explaining the fight on stream to the group as it again is their first time being in here. So all three of these guys are about to get their skin. So I'm going to first pull the boss, and I'm going to start slowing it down now, because here's what's going to happen. He's going to heavy attack here. That's the one you want to block. All right, and then immediately, sometimes you will spin. And basically what that does is it's just a lot of damage going out. And, it will kill a DPS if they stay in it. Now the AoE on the back, on that healer back there, I believe it was, basically what it does, it just puts like a growing AoE on the person, and just back away from everything as possible, because it will CC you and you will not be able to move, but you can break free from it. So it's not a disabling effect. What we like to do at this point, he spawns 4 ads from each corner, and they do start to walk towards the boss. All that does, if you kill the ads, is negate the effect of the ads. So as you can see, you have red, blue, purple, and yellow, and you'll see what I think they killed. No, they didn't kill blue. So you can see on the hands the effect on his hands. So you can see yellow right in front of you, blue on the bottom, purple on the back right, and all it does is affect which ads or which effect comes out. So this is the purple effect, which is the lightning effect. It places an AoE underneath you, and it will hit you if you don't move out of it. This is the blue effect to the left. It puts an ice pillar on somebody. Just move out of it because it will immobilize you. And then you have the yellow effect, which basically just Jesus beans you no matter what percent you are, kind of like in PvP. And then he just spins. He just always spins. What I did find out though, that the more of those ads that are on his arms, the harder that spin hurts. Um, but I haven't really tested it out as far as 100% tested it out. That's just kind of what I think. The more ads you get through, the kind of harder he hits with his blades and stuff. So again, we're going back into another phase here, where you have to DPS the ads. We DPS the fire one first because that one's probably the most annoying one. The ice one isn't too bad because you can either cleanse it or you could just dodge roll out. So again, we got 3 of them again, and we're going to get 3 effects again. So nothing too crazy than what you seen last time. Alright, so he's about to charge up and give somebody the ice pill. There you go. Here's the ice pillar. Now he's going to get a beam. I tried to bash that because I thought it was only 1 health, but it's actually quite a bit of health. So as you can see, we're taking about 4,000 damage or so. Now we're blocking. We're taking 1601 damage from it. So now we're going to get to the point where he spawns ads at one of the 4 direction. Kind of like how it was in Fanglair, how you had the ghost phase where you had to hide behind one of the ghost, the golden lady or whoever. Um, basically what you do here is you just DPS one ad, and that's on the gold line, and then and then it just like splits the wall. It's kind of like Christmas tree lights. You take one light bulb out, and then all of them are, you know, all of them are still up, but the one, so you can go through. I don't know if that actually makes sense to some of you guys, but it may or may not. Some Christmas lights are not like that actually, but anyway, skin off traffic topic. Just DPS one of the ads, one of the gold ads, and sometimes they do spawn immediate like that, and you just gotta constantly DPS them. You want to DPS these as quick as you can, because if you don't, they will kill you. If you walk past them, or you excuse me, if you walk past them or try and walk past it or get hit by the wall, you will die. And you will see this in execute as well. Once you get to execute on regular vet is just basically under 1 million. He'll take you to the next realm. So here we're just going through it. Right now, I was trying to check and trying to see what that vengeance said. But I thought I lost it and couldn't see what it was, and I was just like, well, screw it, whatever. So that's why I died here. I was trying to see what that debuff was and what caused it. So basically, everybody knows that there's some type of healing debuff you get here where you can't heal for some reason, and we're trying to see what it is. And so that's what I was trying to do. I am becoming decrepit. So that's what I was trying to see. As you can see, that mouse at the very bottom, right above my salmon. We were trying to figure out what it meant and all that stuff, and it doesn't give us any type of explanation or hint or anything like that of what it actually does, to see how we can kind of negate it, or if it's just non-negatable, which I think it's not negatable. But anyways, we ended up getting, oh, we got 3 ads again. So I wanted to slow this down to show you that AoE one more time, how you can see in the back it does CC you, and I think that's what happened is, if you get CC'd by that, if you have that growing AoE on you and you get CC'd by it, it puts a little healing debuff on you, and I think that's where that comes into play, but I'm not 100% sure how that happens. So, if any of you guys in chat know how the healing debuff comes into effect, let me know. Because we tested it out, and it's not from the purple ad, it's not from the blue ad, it's not from the red ad. We did actually kill all the ads on one of my other runs in stream. We got 3 DPS, and we killed all 3 of the ad or all 4 of the ads, and we still got a healing debuff. So I'm not 100% sure what happens and how to negate that healing buff. So here we go. Here we're just going to kill this ad that's in the center, and we'll be good to go. They don't have much health. I believe it's like 300k or 200k. I actually can't remember because I wasn't paying attention. I think it's it's almost 300k. I think. I told them to just build up ulti and just let's get teleported in. It's because we should be getting teleported in soon. So we ended up getting all of the buffs, which is fine, or at least it should be fine. So as you can see, the healer over to my, I believe it was in front of me, that got decrepit and just couldn't heal herself. So it just kind of sucks. Just not sure how it happens. You should be able to take the spinning attack and literally everything as a self heal, as long as you can manage the resources, or at least use some kind of setup that helps you manage that. You should be fine. You shouldn't really need too much healing. Alright, so we're getting to 10% where we're about to get teleported in. We just got to kill one last fade of these little shades or orb people or whatever it is. So we decided to kill the red one again and then work on the blue one. So here we go. We're just trying to kill him, and then we were just like, all right. I was just like, hey, just build ulti, draw your dots on the boss, and let's build our ulti if we can. So here we go. We're getting teleported in to the other realm, and this is what it looks like. It's pretty cool. The best way that I found to keep the boss without cheesing it is keeping them right here in this corner. Um, so you're just going to keep him here and just kind of like watch for his attack. So he does a lightning attack, he does a pillar, and then immediately he does the fire attack. DPS need to dodge roll in hard mode or it will one-shot them. Supposedly, that's what my DDs are telling me. And then we'll get immediately into the beam. And then once the beam happens, excuse me, the ads will start to spawn. And there's ads to my left and there's ads behind me. So all you got to do is just walk around it like so, and then cut back right behind them. And then you literally have, I don't know, probably like 40 seconds before any other wall ads come. So you have a good, clean 40 seconds before anything happens. So what I do is I'm trying to res here, and I end up having to dodge roll because of that heavy attack. If you pop a shield ulti immediately and then start resing, you will keep the shield ulti all the way up until that res will happen. So we got that res going, and then we do have one more DPS. I was like, hey, can you try and get the res? We basically to try and speed this up. You know what I mean? As you can see, all these walls are coming. They're easily able to be avoided, and they pretty much, spawn at the exact same time. As you can see, this looks literally just like what we just did. So we keep them here. Now we have about 30 seconds or so without any other interruptions from the walls. That's why I like this spot of tanking it the most. It's because there's a lot of options that you can do. Nothing really going on. So we got the ice pillar, and here we go with the heavy attack. You can either take it or whatnot, and then I just decided to pop my shield ulti and immediately get the res. Now, if you're using this build, you definitely can get this. Now, what she did say, she has auto res on, and she's like, "Don't res me, don't res me. I have auto res on or some shit like that." So I was like, "Oh crap, you need to turn that off." And then when there's any growing AoE or the heavy attack going on, you definitely want to get out of the way, pop that shield ulti, and then immediately start the res so that the healer can get up or DPS if this is what happens to you guys. So we got the walls coming in again. It's literally just making a big circle. Now that the circle's gone or the walls are down again, we got about 30 more seconds or so of free, just no basically no interruptions other than the fire and the occasional mechanics you got to follow, which is the fire and the ice pillar and stuff. And instantly got that res off, just trying to get everyone back up. I actually told him towards the end, I was like, nah, just DPS the boss, because everybody kept dying. They weren't figuring out, so I was like, nah, just you DPS the boss, I'll get the res. So that's all I did. I just kept getting the reses, and then we just kind of sped it up from here. I was trying to bash that ice pillar to see if it would go away as quick as possible, but it never did. So here we go. We got quite a bit of room. Nothing is really coming towards us at all. And the boss should die right about now. And that's how you beat non-hard mode. Next video we're going to be showing is hard mode, which is shortly after this video. Alright, and now we're going to be doing hard mode, and this is with the legendary Fingrush and the most nicest person EMAC in the world. So here we go. We're gonna pull a boss, and he literally does everything he does on normal except for a few different things. He immediately spawns the wall, and that you have to kill those immediately. So what I do is I always call out and say, "Hey, wall behind you guys," and they try and kill the walls immediately. And I just move the boss as far back as possible. On this fight, I'm running dragons and Olos with Earthcore. That way to try and pop Wrestle ulti as quick as possible, and to proc um, Olos to kind of give them that spell damage and weapon damage that they're missing. So we have that purple orb, and basically that purple orb, all the orbs do is empower the move that the bosses do. So that's about all it does. So purple orb empowers the purple purple attack. The red one empowers the red attack. Yellow attack. So on and so forth. That's pretty much all it does. So I am using Blood Altar because we were having a little bit of a healing issue on some of the debuff that was just happening. So I'm not 100% sure again how the debuff happens. I think it just randomly happens at some point in time. So here we're just getting the spin attack and nothing really to do, just hold block and just make sure you heal up. I'm I just thought about this. I wonder if what you could do if you have that AoE and you place it on the boss. You know the AoE that stuns you. I'm gonna try that out later today on stream if we can get some people in stream that want to do this fight again. Now on this heavy attack on hard mode, you can either dodge roll it or you can just kind of take it. It's totally up to you to see what you want to do. As you can see, that orb is starting to spawn the electric attack. It just kind of it kind of beefs him up a little bit, as you can see. They hit really hard. I do have Crusher on my back bar on my staff, so that's why I'm heavy attacking that one ad. And I am start to heavy attack a lot of ads. Kind of apply that Crusher from afar. Now we're not too worried. We really just only want that red one down because that red fire attack is just really annoying and it can one-shot you. So we are going into execute now, which should be happening now. There we go. Alright, so now we're getting set up top. The only difference up top is basically the exact same thing that happened downstairs. He's going to spawn a bunch of walls, he's going to spawn orbs, and he's going to do all the same attacks that he was doing up top. Now just make sure when these lightning attacks happen that you just try to avoid them as a DD and healer. As a tank, you can just literally stand there. So as soon as Ice Pillar forms, what happens is I popped a magma, and and one of the guys popped a berry to try to live past that. Now, as you can see, the walls start coming in a different way. So it's really important to kind of pay attention and call out where the walls are coming from. For hard mode, here is a really good place to be too. If you can be on here, it actually helps out quite a bit. You could cheese it, but I don't like to cheese a lot of stuff. I like to do it the way it's supposed to be intended for the most part, and it just makes it that much more enjoyable when you beat it. Now these orbs are an achievement. If you do not kill them, you will get an achievement, but it will make it a little bit harder. So as you can see, all we're doing is we're just backing away, trying to. Right now I'm just trying to survive because there's a bunch of walls coming. As you can see, there's a shit ton of walls. Just trying to get out of the way as quickly as possible. Myself and EMAC are the last ones alive. I'm just trying to get the res on Fang and trying to get him going. I see that heavy attack coming, getting that dodge roll in. I'm going to continue to try and throw that Blood Altar down with the Olos and try and get that going. Trying to get that spell damage going. I'm popping Vigors just to kind of help out with heals. And here we go. We're about to execute it here. I turn around my Resto Staff, which I should be doing here pretty soon, and popping that Olos right on the boss for the werewolf and stuff. But ended up getting a bunch of walls and stuff here. I do dodge roll these heavy attacks because they do hit tremendously hard. It's absolutely insane how hard they hit. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not really too much to it. It's just a lot of things hit a lot harder. Um, so I think again, myself, Fangrish, EMAC, uh, is a killer or whatever his name is. I've never played with him before, but I guess he's along for Hands of Fangs. But that's literally how you do it with no healer. It's not really um, too difficult. Just gotta help out with a little bit. Be a group player. Hopefully this video helps you guys out, and we'll see you in the next video.